And so for heavy speculators, you're probably just better off investing in a Naira asset that's giving you those high interest rates. Let's start by explaining what we think is going on with the exchange rate. The first, of course, is from BDC operators themselves who have spoken to us. They've said, look, appears speculative demand has basically ebbed. People don't really buy FX as much as they used to. So the people who buy FX now are people who absolutely need to buy FX. And so with that demand essentially sucked out, what happens to price? It's just law of demand and supply. When there is less demand, prices tend to fall. And so it appears the speculators are out of the way. And so exchange rate just starts to strengthen. But then why are speculators out of the way, I guess, will be the question. Because it doesn't look like, inflation numbers, yes, they're trending downwards, but things are still expensive. Nigerians are still groaning. Things are still very difficult. The economy is really hard. The fact that inflation is still high and the economy is hard is probably the reason why you're not seeing speculators anymore. Because what tends to happen when you have an orthodox monetary policy, which is one of the major reasons why we're seeing this thing happen, is that interest rates are typically kept really high. So you've seen interest rates officially at 27.5%. It was usually cut to 27%. But banks lend at 35, 34, 33% if you're lucky to even get those loans. And so with Naira essentially sucked out of the economy, people can't really borrow to speculate or to buy FX. And for those who have Naira, it just makes sense for you to, invest that money. Because we did some math recently on Nairametrics, and if you actually have Naira and you invest at 20% interest rate, the exchange rate will need to depreciate to almost 2,000 for you to make the same kind of money that somebody who takes that Naira at current rate and invests it at 20%. I don't know if you understand what I mean. And so for heavy speculators, you're probably just better off investing in a Naira asset that's giving you those high interest rates. So for those wondering, why is interest rate high? Well, there it is. That's why it's high. So they've kept it that high so that speculative buying can reduce.